Yeah,
Let's
like
put these
that.
testicles.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay.
Webbles, webbles. Damn, we got the white girl saying webbles too. Y'all better get on it with the Duolingo. Stop playing.
Welcome back to Team A Unfiltered. Today, we're talking about the people who raised us, shaped us, supported us, and occasionally tested our patience, our parents and our families. From the traditions we love to the habits we're still unpacking, we're diving into the funny, the messy, and everything in between. No pretending, just honest stories about the people who made us who we are. First thing, I wanted to address the family listeners out there. You know who you are, and we thank you guys for tuning in with us. Family shapes everything, how we love, how we fight, how we move through this sometimes unfair world. They're our first blueprint for better or worse. So I want us to all just try to paint a picture what your house was like growing up. Just take a minute, just close your eyes if it helps you close your eyes and think about how it was like when you were a girl growing up in your house, how your household was. And I can start just to help, frame this picture a little bit. Mine was a little loud, a little chaotic. We were a house of 6. My 2 parents at the time were living together, and we were always putting on shows, like I mentioned in the previous episode. It was a lot of my cousins, a lot of my siblings. We just had a bunch of fun, recording things together. There were rules in our house, and we believe in spankings when those rules were broken. And what I can think about in my household is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we were always at Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
We're always at Jack in the Box. Just for those of you who don't know, my dad was fortunate to be able to franchise Jack in the Box. So we had a lot of that, in our life, but it was full of love. And I was blessed as a child, to grow up in my family household. So that's a little bit about mine. What about you, Francis?
Oh, wow. Well, I love Jack in the Box. So we should have been besties then. I'd have messed up 2 tacos. Let's see. Golly, my family dynamics. I did close my eyes. I remember living in Oak Cliff, Crocker Hill. I always remember being at church. Church was a big thing. I know I'm a little wild now, but I grew up with some good morals, some good foundation, family values. I remember always being outside. We weren't loud, so that's odd that you would say that because I could see that, but we were a family of 6.
You weren't. No, I do not believe you.
Well, I mean now because I gotta get up there. You know what I'm saying? But no, we weren't loud. I think when my dad raises his voice, we knew it was the whole government name. Francis Clarissa. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think we had a good family dynamics. So when we moved to Grand Prairie and I started playing soccer, I think it gave us structure. Sports actually gave us structure to get prepared for soccer practice Tuesday, Thursday. Game was Saturday. I think that helped out a lot. But no, man, I know that we ate what our parents made us. We only went out to eat like once a week. It was Grandy's on Sunday after church.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, church is a big thing. I'm starting to realize it. So y'all start seeing me at church. Y'all just know that it's because of this podcast. Seriously, because wow, I've really definitely mentioned religion being a big part of me, and I've definitely slacked at that in the last several years. But church was big. We went on a couple of retreats together, me, Lisa, and Sophie.
Oh, was that the St. Michael's one?
Yes.
I went on that retreat too. But it wasn't until like 7th and 8th grade, I think.
No, we were already in high school. We're like 9th, 10th. You probably were with us.
Probably was.
No, G was with us.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, how did you guys have been on the same one if you're different ages? Because I thought I went by ages, no?
It was me, Francis, her brother, and my cousin. That's all I remember. Maybe Freddie went.
I did go on one of those, though, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like you had a bunch of sports, you're a sports oriented family that went to church a lot. Very traditional.
Very, very.
Hey, you, so what do you?
How was yours?
So for me, y'all know how my memory is. It's so amazing. But my mom really, till this day, she gets so annoyed with the fact that I don't remember a lot. I do know that we were always on the go. I don't remember my mom cooking a lot when we were younger because it was all about sports. It was either me in soccer or Michael in soccer or Michael in football or baseball. Or I was always with like Jeanette or with my aunt, or I was just always on the go because my mom needed to like figure out how to get us to different places. So my household, I have very little memories of what we were inside the household, just more so like always on the go.
Got it.
Wow. Wow.
And Chris? Yeah.
So for me, for my family, I was raised in a single parent, with my mother, very strict. I think the boys got away with more stuff than me, hence me sneaking out later on. But she still instilled her work ethics. Everything is like strict. If you get a job, you got to do this. Even at home, right? I give you a chore, make sure you get it done. Oh, there was definitely yelling and there was definitely spankings.
Yes.
So,
Oh, yeah. We
You
got
definitely
spanked, definitely. You just didn't get yelled at.
and then just, family oriented. We had a lot of family gatherings and parties and stuff like that with our extended family.
Well, you know.
So for me, like, I remember my parents, we were always busy with like social events. Like every weekend, we're either going to someone's house or my parents hosted a lot, which I guess that's where Host Malone came from.
Yes.
But I just like always remember them always having like a busy social calendar, which is still true today. Like I know like a couple years ago, they like to ride. So they were part of some Harley Davidson riding groups. I would have to call them and be like, hey, when's your next free weekend? Because have a busy calendar. They're doing stuff. And so like, that's kind of what I more remember during the week, both of my parents working. And then on the weekends, we were always either going out and doing things, going to family gatherings, or they like to go down to the coast a lot. So a lot of my memories growing up were like traveling down to like Galveston or Port A, San Antonio. We have a lot of family in San Antonio. So I actually used to spend some summers there with my mom. We would go down for like a couple of weeks and visit with her family. So I think that's pretty much, like what I think.
All right. Yes.
I would say I'm the only girl of three brothers. And so, I mean, I just remember my mom being like our rock. To this day, she still is. So I feel like that we weren't Jack in the Box rich. So
What do you mean, 99-cent taco girl?
she did cook a lot. And I would say that my household growing up is everything that my household now is not. To my mom cooking every day, to us, we got in trouble. We got hit. My kids, I don't even know if I've ever hit them, to be honest. My life now consists of sports where growing up, we didn't play sports. So I have good memories. It just is not the way my house is now.
Okay.
Wow. That's nice to know.
What about you, Jeanette?
I think our household was chaotic. There had to be really good time management on my mom's end because she had three girls playing soccer, three girls in folklorico, 3 girls doing, 3 different events. We had competitions, we had soccer tournaments. It was chaotic, but I wouldn't exchange those memories for anything because I think it's the one thing that I tried to do, like with my kids, having Noah in soccer and club soccer, and Lexi, she chose gymnastics. But all in all, I think I summarize it to keeping my kids active because that's what my mom did. She kept us active. At that time, kids not being active are kids that are out in the street getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Right. So for us, she kept us busy. She kept us active, but discipline.
Yeah.
She instilled discipline. I would, say perseverance.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know how my mom did what she did on her own, but she did have help and support with my grandma and grandpa living with us. And so that's the reason why we may not have been eating Jack in the Box every day because my grandma was cooking every day. And so she had breakfast tacos for us every morning. She had dinner on the table every night. So we were fortunate in that even though my mom didn't cook every night, my grandma was there to do that for us. So just to summarize it, it was chaotic.
Yeah.
It was loud.
Yes.
But I don't know. I wouldn't exchange those memories for anything because it's what I've tried to do at my home, keeping my kids active and just letting them know, like, you've got to work hard. You've got to work hard for your money.
And that's a good segue to, like, what did our parents do right? Right? So for Jeanette, I feel like it's, instilling that sports background. You're always staying active in something so you're not out there being in trouble, like doing other things. What are some other folks? What did your parents get right?
I think in one of the first or second episodes, I shouted out to moms. Shout out to moms. Golly. Can't say that enough. Like, I'm looking at all of y'all listening, and the strength that you guys have gotten from your moms is amazing. So shout out to moms.
If you can think of something that your parent did right.
I think mine would have to be, if it's not broke, don't fix it, or what's that saying?
Yeah.
So they worked at their marriage. There was a couple of times they could have went separate ways, and we could have been a broken family. But things that they don't do now in the new generation, you don't fix what you have. You'd rather go and find something new. Now, you get into a fight with your significant other, and they're over there looking up dates on Tinder and WhatsApp. Just saying.
Right. Yusuf, what did your parents get right?
My mom, we're all saying our moms, and that's just who I can relate more to. But my mom, I think what she got right is, I never tell her this, but she's so amazing. Through all her hard times that she's had with having me and my brother so close by her, my dad had 2 other kids, and this lady, like, she is very strong-willed. She's very, very strong-willed. She can be so mean, but the heart on her is amazing. She took those 2 kids in after their mom passed with no question. And while my dad was in college, she was with their mom on her deathbed.
Wow.
My mom, I have to give it to her, because she can go off on you just like no other. I remember her running around the car chasing this lady one time.
She's gone off on me a couple of times.
Dang, Teresa.
Yeah, like, for my mom's, sorry, Mom. It's just a clear memory of them not getting along, and then just taking in the kids with no question. Nobody even asked her. And then to be there, on her deathbed.
You have got to have a big heart to do that. Anybody else want to share?
That, so.
One of the things that I think my mom did right is work ethic. I saw how hard she worked to, do everything that she did to make sure we had everything that we had. And I'll say till this day, if there was anything we didn't have, or if we were struggling, I never saw it. I never saw it.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't let you know.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I probably carried over with my kids, like never letting them know if we were struggling. But I am proud to say, because I do have an adult son, I see that same work ethic in him. Like, he works his butt off. He's, working 2 jobs right now. He doesn't have to. Yeah. But he chooses to. Yeah. Probably because he likes money. But, he is a hard worker. And so I think that's one thing that I got from my mom.
I would agree with that. For me, it was my dad and his hard work ethic. He was an immigrant coming from Peru and no college education, barely got his high school degree, barely. And he went out and he got a Jack in the Box franchisee, right? And then he went up and bought 10 of them. And that was all because of his work ethic. Like, he just wouldn't stop. He was constantly working day in, day out. Yeah, Harley saw my dad because he was always at the next Jack in the Box. I saw that. I thought, like, I want to do something like that. I want to be a hard worker. I want to strive to get things for my kids and family. And I felt like he did that. Like, he did whatever he could to provide for us. For my mom, I feel like what she got right was the church, the prayer. She's our prayer warrior. Anytime, like, we need something in everyday life, like, we just call her. I'm like, Mom, can you just please pray? Because I'm going through this or going through that. She's like, okay, let's pray right now. She'll just, like, pray, immediately. So it's what I want to practice with my children, and just pray for them. I'm not a good prayer, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I think there are a couple of things that they got right.
You don't have to have the right words.
I know. It's just so hard. Like, I just feel like, you're trying to find the words to say, and sometimes it's just so natural for some others to.
You're right. It is.
But like my mom, she's just.
But at least you're trying.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's a start.
Like, for me, it was something that they got right, like more of what my dad instilled in me. And I think Jeanette has actually said this before, but his thing is, if you're going to do something, do it right. That was something that he really got right. And what he meant is like, putting your effort and your best foot forward. And that was something that definitely I feel was instilled in me and led to the choices that I made later in life.
Can agree with that. I think going back to moms, my mom again was the rock. Unlike Jeanette, like we did see the struggles that we had, and my mom, kind of like Tupac said, like made miracles every Thanksgiving and stuff. So she taught me and taught us all. I would say my brothers as well, to work hard and get what you want and make it happen. For my dad, he prepared us for adulthood. He told us how important credit is, how life insurance is important. And so
they need to teach that in school.
Yeah.
They really need to teach that in school.
Yeah.
They won't, because
literacy.
it will empower you and bring you up.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So no, that's it. That's just I think he got it right.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. What do you think was hard growing up?
Well, for me, I think it was the strictness, and then just being the only girl. I think, with my brothers, I felt like they always got away with more stuff. They didn't really have a curfew. I did. I didn't really go out as much at all. Again, hence why I stuck out later on. That was kind of like me rebelling. I'm like, well, they got to stick out later. Yeah. One time my brother got mad because he had little sister had to tag along one time. And he's like, he didn't see nothing. I'm like, nope, didn't see nothing, hear nothing. Speak no evil, hear no evil.
Right.
You know how it is. So, but yeah, I think it's just, which I understood, coming from a Hispanic, background. And then my mom, being the only parent, she had to be mom and dad.
Yeah. I think for me, I would say my parents were young when they got married. I think they were like 18, 19 when they had me. I think they were kids themselves and just learning, and then having Michael, a couple of years later. They weren't emotionally available. My dad was. My dad was real loving. He would always give you a hug and tell us how much he loved us. And my mom was very distant. But I guess my dad being the male, it's hard to talk to my dad about girl things. There's a lot of things that I had to learn on my own because my mom was not comfortable speaking to us about it, So I think that's one thing that I could say that maybe they got wrong, but not intentionally, just because they probably didn't have it themselves.
That was the error, though. My mom didn't talk to me about sex. She just put me in front of Lifetime on Sundays.
It's like you had to stay away from that topic, right?
I think
it's like you're being taught in school.
Exactly.
Right.
I was going to say, I think they leaned on the sex ed class, and I can't even remember what was taught in that.
I think Miss Smith taught us with the banana and a condom.
Oh, wow.
What grade was that? Because I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Great, LBJ. Shout out to Grand Prairie ISD.
I think what happened was for me, like I went to Lanier, so I went to a school in Dallas, and I think they hadn't taught that yet. And then when I moved to the Grand Prairie schools, Grand Prairie is already taught, done. So I never got that course. Never. So yeah. I think the emotional availability was not there. Got it. I don't think it was intentional. Like just
So if it's all good, like I said, I got you.
And I think some of the parents, they tend to tell you to toughen up, right? Don't show too much emotion either. Like sometimes they didn't want you talking too much about your feelings, which I think I'd struggle a lot now as an adult because what is it? Suck it up, buttercup type deal. It was one of those things.
All my kids didn't want to hear it.
Right. But also because that's how they were taught.
Oh, yeah.
I think I can connect to Sophie's, like with the emotional availability, because the same would apply to my mom if I were to go up and give her a hug. I think she'd probably hug me back, but it'd probably feel a little awkward. Like I gave Noah a hug one time and he's like, "Why are you doing that? That's weird." And I was like, "Well, I miss you." Because again, I'm just that way. You know what I mean? That didn't mean that I didn't love on them when they were little, because I did. It just, I don't know, like once they hit a certain age, I just wasn't like that anymore. I think I just show my love a different way. And my mom is the same way. My mom will do whatever she can on the drop of a dime, to support us. But like the hugging and all of that, that's, and we told her that. We called her out on it. She's like, "But I wasn't raised like that." And it's like, well, then break the cycle, Mom.
Yeah,
right? And if you're listening, Mom.
Yeah, my mom never told me and my brother or my sister that she loved us. My dad my dad would always do it. When we hang up, "I love you." When you hug you, "I love you." And he's always telling son.
That's
My
opposite of
mom did
mine.
not, although she showed it, of course, right? Like, they had a way of showing it, but she never actually would tell you until my dad passed. And the first time I remember her saying it, me and my siblings were like, "What? What did she just tell us she loved?" And although we know, she did other things to show love,
Right.
but she never said the words as often as my dad did.
Yeah.
Or maybe my dad said it too much, so we never heard my mom saying it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My mom said it all the time. My dad doesn't.
Yeah.
Every
The same
family
thing.
has that.
Yeah.
My mom says it. My dad doesn't. Like, even to this day, I'm like, I love you, Dad. He's like, okay, bye. Like, I'm like, oh. I know he loves me, but it's just like, he's just,
Of course.
just
Yeah.
interesting.
But I mean, that's one thing that I said too. Like, I think one time I even, like, kidding around, I went to give her a hug bye, and I was like, bye, Mom. I'm giving her a hug. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm breaking the cycle. But yeah, I mean, it is something that I'm trying to do. I know I'm a lot better. I think Frances has said before, she's like, you better stop playing because your older kids are going to think your favorite is Josiah. And it's not that. It's just, it just gives me another chance.
This is weird. I have hug competition like with Dom. Like we would hug each other and I'll be like, who's gonna pull back first, right? And so we'll like just like hug each other, and then like whenever he nudged, I'm like, oh, you pull back first. Eric hates it. He's like, why do y'all play that game?
And that's why he's a good hugger.
And that's why he's a good hugger. Yeah. Okay, so there's something I want to share that was hard growing up, and it's real talk. My dad's an alcoholic, and it was chaotic in my childhood home because I had a lot of policemen coming over because there was a lot of, times when my dad comes home. He's a hard worker, right? He had this big business. He would be out late, but he would drink a lot. So he was a great dad. To this day, still number one dad, just not a great husband. And I had to see that and witness that growing up, the cops coming in and out of the house. And I know you mentioned like what your parents did right was staying together. I fault my parents because I feel like there's a point where it's just not going to work out. And so I told myself that I would never be in a marriage that will make me truly unhappy that way because I value my happiness more than that, right? Because he just wasn't a good husband in many ways. So that was really hard with me growing up, just seeing that. And honestly, like I instilled some toxic traits, like, from that. Like when, and I joke about this, when I got, upset, with my husband, I thought it was normal to throw his whole closet out in the yard. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
She thought that was normal.
I thought that was normal. This is what you're supposed to do. If you, like, shit's going to happen and I'm going to throw it, out. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, because you pissed me off. This is what my mom did plenty of times, like threw it in the swimming pool or whatever. Like I saw the worst thing ever, growing up. So I think like that could have been a little bit, healthier growing up. But we all know, like my parents are separated to this day. They don't divorce because it's not you do not divorce. Like you just don't divorce, right? So, but I just wish that, they did that better. They handled that better. They stayed together for the sake of the kids. Yeah, of the kids. And I told myself I'm not going to do that. Like my happiness is much more valuable than that. So
100%.
Thank you for being open and honest with that, because I think we all have had parents that are indulge a little bit more. And I feel like they're just going through life. I haven't seen my parents drink like the way they used to when I was in high school. So hopefully that'll change for me too in the future. But, going to hearing you say alcoholic or, any other substances that people may use, I feel like if it doesn't get out of hand, you know what I'm saying, and the cops aren't involved, then they're okay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe my perspective is a little bit different. I always try to strive to be better the next day. But just in general, maybe drinking helped him, coach him out through that time at that moment. It just didn't end right with you guys seeing it.
What I'm hearing you say, Joe, is he was a great dad. Knowing what we know now about adulthood, it could have been the stress. Yeah. Right? The stress of managing 10 Jack and house, right? But I think I can relate to like what you're saying, because basically another thing that I got out of what you were saying is you had to break the cycle of the what you thought was the norm. And that applied to me too. I thought it was normal to get up in the middle of the night and take your kids and leave because that's what I saw, right? When, my parents would argue in the middle of the night and we'd have to get up in the car in our pajamas and, I thought that was normal to get up and go.
Yeah.
And I finally had to realize, like, this is not normal.
Right.
I need to figure out how to break the cycle. And, it's no fault. I mean, I don't blame my mom for this, you know what I mean? Because, again, I think it's kind of speaking to what Sophie said. Our parents got together really young. Like, my parents met in high school, and that was a different time for them, right? So they had a lot of growing up to do. And, I got married at, 23, and I still felt like I still probably could have waited to get married,
Yeah, you can. It is.
Yeah. I mean, I love my husband. We've been married almost 20 years already, but, I think we still needed, we were growing up together too. And I've gotten past that. And I do think that that's a cycle I was able to break.
And I think that's what's beautiful is that, like, one thing that I cannot, or I should not say, you know what, I can't stand it, is when people say, oh, I'm like this because my parents are like
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
that. You know what? If I was like this because my family, like, I'd probably, sorry, Dad, he's going to get me tonight. But like family, like his side of the family, my uncles, just listen, if I was going to follow the trait because that's how my parents are, or that's how my family is, outside family, then I'd be in a lot worse state. I'm in a beautiful situation right now because I chose not to go like my parents, or not my parents, but what I've seen growing up.
Right.
What you see. Chose to break that cycle. You recognize it too.
Exactly.
Right. Because there's a difference between recognizing it and then saying, well, I'm like that because of this.
That right there.
Versus, well, do I want to be like that? And if I don't, am I going to have the courage to break that cycle?
Right.
Yeah, I
Or
think
do what
I've
it takes to
seen
break it.
things where I'm like, no, I don't want that. Like like my brothers, some of my brothers are not. They weren't good guys, right? And I'm like, I don't need a guy like that.
Yeah.
My dad did drink as well. I'm like, I don't need a man like that. So my husband, and again, it goes back to my household, is nothing the way it was growing up. So it's like I saw things that I knew I didn't want instead of like,
And, oh, well, my family did this, or, oh, I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Like, my mom has never drank. She's never smoked. She's never, like, nothing.
yeah.
Right? That she saw how it was in her household. So she always said, like, whenever I have mine, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it goes back to where you're saying you have to recognize it and break the cycle.
Break the cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It is. It's one of those things that will just set me off. Like, do not tell me you're like this because your family. This is how you were raised. Don't do that.
Here's an example. Like, my dad's an alcoholic. I can continue saying, I'm just going to drink because it's in my family. We're all alcoholics, right? No, I have a choice. Like, I know when to stop. I should know, or have friends to keep me accountable, But it's a choice. Like, we all got to try to break that cycle as much as possible if you recognize it and you want to change it.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to move into something more funny and, free talk about only in my family. So there's certain things that, probably like weird family rules, some embarrassing moments, but what's one thing you guys want to share that's only in my family? Blah, 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 blah. So who wants to kick us off?
So I can go. So all of us 2000 graduates
Oh,
from education.
yes.
Okay.
My family
It's okay,
would do.
'cause you're older.
Yeah.
All right, Jeanette.
And the reason why I say that is because with my family for graduations at that time when we were so close, we would wear the color of the high school of whatever family member was graduating. So of course the Warriors, they all had red on.
Yeah.
My mom made this humongous sign that took up, I swear, half this freaking side of wall of the stadium. And we all took pictures with this banner that she made us. Nobody caught, well, I didn't catch on. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people caught on, but she put congratulations, Sophie, but spelled congratulations with a D. Like, it was the most embarrassing thing. Still to this day, we come up across those pictures and they're like, congratulations. And I'm just like, Mom, like, she was so proud. They were all so proud, but sorry. Sorry for that.
That's fair.
No, but I'm gonna give it to her just because. What if it was a play on words? Because you were graduating. Grad.
Yes.
All right, Mom, Jeanette,
We got your back, but
I think that's still so embarrassing. We're like, how many years later? We're like, okay, that was the family that didn't know how to spell congratulations.
Hey, but everybody else was taking pictures with it too.
Sure was.
So that was your embarrassing parent moment.
Embarrassing.
I think only in my family, and I've tried this with you guys, and one, it's never going to work with Sophie because she don't remember nothing. But
Okay.
two, Lisa has caught on a little bit, but I feel like only in my family because we watch so many movies, we literally speak in movie quotes.
Oh, we do that too.
Yeah, like we speak in movie
Good
quotes. So
one. I love
like
that.
we'll
Step Brothers, you were doing this
I did it
meatloaf.
earlier.
Oh no, you're like meatloaf.
when
I'm
I
like,
was calling
I'm like,
for
why is she
Sophie.
saying meatloaf?
Y'all
Like,
told me to ask her for something, so I was like, Mom, the meatloaf. And everyone was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh. Y'all have never seen Step Brothers, you know?
I'm like,
But
oh,
yeah.
I got it.
And so that's why whenever it's me and my sisters and like we're talking in movie
Yeah.
codes, people will be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you just wouldn't get it.
That's cool. No, I love
did
that. I
in
love that.
Colorado. Lisa,
But oh, really?
yeah,
Oh,
got it. And there I am in the background. They're like, what about you, Steph? I'm like,
But this wasn't movie codes. This was just music
Oh.
from movies.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing one, I think.
It was the easiest one that she should have got.
And I went there, but I remember.
that's cool, Jenna. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know that I have a weird family rule. My rule was that I had a curfew and my brothers didn't. So like my younger brother, he would hang out with my friends. And so we'd all be out and like, oh, gotta take Lisa home. So they'd come drop me off and he would still leave with them and hang out with them the rest of the night.
Wow. Girl.
But you know what? I don't want to say I'm just like that, but my boys, they can go more places than I let my daughter.
Why is
Oh, break the cycle.
I'm not trying to say
the cycle.
Well, her daughter is the bait.
they still have, I mean, they can't do whatever they want the way I think my brothers did, but she's a girl. She's a girl.
I don't say that.
Protective,
Don't
more
say that. I fought many fights with my parents over that.
She's 12. To me, that's still young, but at the same age, when I was 12, I wanted to be with my friends too. I don't let her spend the night anywhere, but I also don't let my boys spend the night anywhere. So
that's fair.
it's not, I don't know, maybe I am repeating it.
Recognize it.
I think the one thing that I love about my family is when push comes to shove, we all have each other's back. My older brother and me, we've been at each other's necks over the last couple of years. And last week or 2 weeks ago, I sent him some money, and my mom's like, "Why did you do that?" I'm like, "Well, he didn't have any, and that's my brother." She's like, "Hi." Now all of a sudden you care, and I'm like, I should not stop caring. I did be like a little bit tough love. So when we know someone is struggling or someone else needs that other help, I love that we do have each other, even though we might be talking shit about them the week before or whatever.
Do you feel like they probably are like, she's the one girl that I know, one female I know that I can always count on, that will always have my back?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'm ride or die. Shit.
That's right.
I would
You
hope my
know?
brothers feel like that too. And I feel like two of them for sure feel that way.
Yeah.
I know after me and you've talked a couple of times, if I ever caught you to borrow money, I have to pay you back.
I think for me, only in my family, every time we have like this argument or some situation that happens in our family, my dad calls a meeting.
What? Explain it. Like, you mean like, say you and Marsha get into a fight.
Well, when Marsha was pregnant, we all had a meeting. We sat down at the table and we talked about, hey, this is the news. Marsha's pregnant. This is what's going to happen with college situation and stuff like that. Or my brother, right? Something happening with him situation. We get at the table. We have a meeting. Everyone's at the table and we're talking about it. But I feel like that was just like weird because I would talk to somebody. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't, like, we're having a family meeting. Eric would still to this, like, he's like, y'all are doing what? Y'all are having a family meeting? Like, I don't understand that. Like, because we just have to go. Like, it's a meeting. We have to go. We have to, all sit around the table and talk about this.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot of
clear
clarity,
some things out. Yeah.
And you said your dad calls them?
My dad would always initiate it. And so like so now we bring that, like, hey, something happens, like something between our siblings. My dad's like, get a meeting. Like my dad still to this day has meetings with his siblings, and he has 10 brothers and sisters, right? So he has meetings with them. They sit down and talk about.
Maybe that's his business background.
Right.
Yeah. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we have
That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was a little weird, but kind of necessary, I guess.
Do you do that with your family?
Do
In
I
your
do
house?
that with my family? I mean, right now, like, I feel like we just talk openly. Like, if something happens, like, we'll get together. There was a situation where we did have to, get together, but there hasn't been, like, a serious moment for us to need to be like, oh, my God, we need to all be like Dorian, Dominic, like, you get around the table. We got to talk about this. No, it hasn't been that way. I mean, obviously, Dorian became a father early, and we, talked to him individually, and then, he had a discussion with Dom, but it wasn't like a meeting like my dad used to do. But I do, like, we always have like open conversation. That's why like it was different, because I don't have conversations with my dad and my mom like all the time, where I feel like I kind of do with my boys. So maybe that's just a little different, but yeah.
I don't know. I would say, thinking about like your experience with having those types of, family meetings, that could be one reason why you're okay easily bringing up things that are like hard to discuss, right? Like when there's conflict. If there's ever a time when things come up, and I'm pretty sure we might talk about any of our situations, in a later episode. I'm speaking specifically about Fredericksburg, right?
Yeah.
But that's communication.
Yeah.
And I think in that instance, you were really good about, being able to discuss and being open to everybody's different perspectives. And that could be because of your background of, having those.
The conflict and like getting everyone together. I mean, to know, I do not like meetings. Okay. Just to put it out there. I do not like meetings. So we're going to move on to another topic on family relationships as adults. How, that dynamic with our parents now has changed now that we're adults, growing up, and how it used to be when we were little.
Yeah, I'd like to. It's kind of funny because I go with and said that my mom used to just not be emotionally there. Now, the older that we are, she's there, telling us she loves us, talking about conflict, which you just did not do in my family. She's just a lot more open to discussion, and it's weird.
Oh, really?
Love you, Mom, but it's just so weird. But I love it. I wish that we were like that when we were younger.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that after my dad passed, I don't know if like I don't know what happened with her, but she just became more emotionally attached. We're talking at one point just like almost every day. And one thing kind of slacked on that, sorry, but she'll call us out on it. She'll talk some major crap to you if you're not reaching out to her. And yeah, just being emotionally there now. That's for me.
Maybe your dad's passing helped open up her mind and her heart.
It's great. It's good. It's just a little weird, but it's good.
I'm glad that she's breaking a cycle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it's hard for
let me tell you,
older
she's
people to
breaking
break
a
the cycle.
lot of cycles that she needed to break a long time ago.
Better late than never.
Right. And she's knowing her boundaries, and I love it. I love that about her.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good,
I
good.
feel like my mom, when I was younger, I like feared my mom because my mom was like Muhammad Ali, and
I feared your mom.
yeah, and when I say I feared my mom, like the whole Muhammad Ali, like literally, if you were in trouble and she's sitting next to you, you had to make sure like you were prepared if it was coming, because it was like ta ta ta,
Janelle was always quick to get
Shanta reflex.
But now I feel like my mom's more kind of like a best friend. Like I talk to my mom every day, and at least for an hour, because it's after dropping off my kids at school, and then on my drive home. So I talk to her every day. And when I don't talk to her, it's kind of weird. And so when I am talking to her now, when I say best friend, it's like now we're kind of like gossiping. I would never cuss in front of my mom when I was younger. And now I feel like she's probably like, damn, Jeanette, where'd you learn how to talk like that? And I'm like, you woman.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
You and then dodging the weave.
but yeah, I feel like that's how our relationship has evolved, you know, from, you know, being her daughter to, I mean, obviously I'm still her daughter, but, you know,
Yeah,
that's changed.
From child to an adult, like in the adult conversation.
I think that's what I would keep now as I'm getting older. My parents are very different from what they were growing up. I felt like me and my mom grew up. I didn't have a sister, so we would have sister days. But now, seeing my parents and what I would keep is they are more relaxed and open, not as judgmental as they used to be or always placing their opinions. Now they kind of like relax on it and that's just her or whatever the case is.
Like, so for me, my relationship with my parents has definitely evolved because, you know, they had my sister and I when they were really young. And they're still together now. They've been married over 40 years. So, you know, when I was young, it was a different relationship because they were raising us. But now I feel like we're both adults and I can really tell them and talk to them about anything and also hang out with them. Like I mentioned earlier, they have a social calendar, they have friend groups. And, you know, when they go riding, they have friends that are our age and even younger that they are part of their groups and they hang out with. So, like, I love that now, both as adults, like my parents are people that I can actually hang out with. Like we've done a lot of concerts together. Like I know that I have that relationship with them and I'm thankful for that.
I would say I've always been close with my mom. To this day, we talk every day. Since my dad's passing, I think we've gotten closer. And they were empty nesters, I guess. Like they were alone for a number of years and they were each other's person. So there were days where I probably would talk to my dad and I wouldn't talk to my mom because he would call us all the time. But I mean, they would chill in the garage, listen to music, drink some beer. And now she doesn't have that I feel like I need to be there more. And when I say we go to the casinos, it's because I'm getting her out of the house and
to do something.
It's a way to keep her mind occupied and kind of get her mind off of other things instead of just being at home alone. I think we have gotten closer and I try to keep her a little bit more occupied and hang out with her more.
Me and my mom, we've always been close. She never had sisters, so she always, you know, knows a daughter. It's like now that we're older, it's like, you're like a sister I never had, but I know you're my daughter type deal. So it's kind of the same scenario with you. So
for me, the roles have reversed, right? I think for all of us. My parents are a little older than y'all's, but, you know, now I manage their health care, you know, calling their insurance, their Medicare stuff, managing their physicality, you know, and their mental space too. Like, are they still mentally there? Right. So I know my mom is definitely mentally there. But I feel like also I am trying to show my parents empathy now being an adult because they've lost their sense of independence in a sense, right? They don't have that free will. Like they're older. They're just older. They can't do a lot of things on their own anymore. Even though like my dad is really stubborn, he wants to get on that plane and go do things like on his own. He just forgets shit all the time. Like I forgot my phone here. I can't tell you how many times I bought him a new phone because he just forgot his phone. Like he can't remember where he placed it. We had to claim it on an insurance. So those things I'm just constantly on him about, you know, making sure he has everything and, you know, just being there for him and just checking in on him. So my relationship as, you know, growing up as an adult is just kind of reversed. Like I'm like the parent more than the child now. So it's just weird to navigate that space.
And you hear that a lot, like the older you get, it's like now you're starting to take care of your parents.
Yeah.
Like as before, obviously they're taking care of you.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it's supposed to go though?
I mean,
you know?
I hope my children take care of me when I'm older, but I'm not counting on it. That's why this podcast is going to help me with retirement.
Or Joe, I'll take care of you.
Talk about your parents' health. Like my mom, you know, she's 75. So thank the Lord she has good health and everything. But she just had a visit this past week. And she was like, can you believe there are like some of these questions they asked me? Like, can you drive yourself to your appointments? Can you do? I'm like, well, Mom, because your age. You're like, yeah, but I can still do that. She's like, well, do you have to have a candle walk? Do you have to have? And she's like, I don't even know that stuff. Like, I'm like,
my father-in-law was like,
Hannah, she got mad.
Yes.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was one of the boxes you have to check. Are you still sexually active? He goes, what do you mean? Am I still sexually active? I don't even want to go into it's hilarious.
She can still do everything, right? And she's like, she goes, I thought I was just going for blood work. They mean to do a whole physical. And then they're asking all these questions. And I'm like, well, so I haven't got to that part, even though my mom is, it will happen. But to your point, that's the thing is that they're going to be sitting there like eventually.
Yep.
The roles are going to be reversed.
I'm getting sad.
Yeah. Well, that's getting us to the closing time, guys. So I want to just wrap this up with what family means to us now. And it can be very short and sweet. Like, what do you, as you've grown up and as you've evolved, I would say, as adults now, what does family mean to us now?
I think everything. It's definitely the foundation of my being. So I'm hoping that whatever I learned from my family, I could pass down to my kids. If it's something ill, yes, break the cycle. But if it's something that's maybe who I am today, then why not? You know what I'm saying? Because as I'm listening, we're all some strong-ass Latina women.
Yes.
So why not?
All right. What does family mean to you now?
Oh, yeah. I think that's it. Like, just strength, loyalty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Chris?
When me and my siblings were always like, love family always and forever. Like when we get together and stuff, it's just family means everything to us. So it's very important to keep the family together.
think Jenna said unity.
Yeah.
Unity, yeah.
So for me, like specifically my parents, like looking back now as an adult, I just respect that, them being young and being there and making the best of what they had and raising us. And so I respect that. And just, for everyone else in my family, like showing up for the people that you love when they need you, like when it's
showing up
important.
I absolutely agree.
When you can't always show up for everything, like those times, and that goes for friendship too. Like,
I was going to say, it doesn't always have to be blood.
I'm gonna be like Jolene's dad and call a meeting. If I text y'all say meeting, y'all hoes better be ready.
Are you leaving?
Same. I think I agree with everything that you guys said, and I think being there when you need them the most is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So just to echo what everybody has said, yes, I agree. Family is everything. But to add to that, like Christy said, it doesn't just have to be your immediate family. It can be those that are chosen. You guys have met Ashley, and I consider Ashley like a sister, and there's just some people that aren't necessarily blood family that have always been there for me, like you guys, and so it's that chosen family that you have.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So like mine is someone that knows my history and still chooses me.
Yes.
And it's something I can feel safe. Family is a place I can feel safe and I can breathe, and it's unconditional love. So that's what family is for me now.
I'm gonna give you a hug because I'm a hugger.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. And so, at the end of the day, family's complicated, beautiful, messy, loud, loving, and sometimes a lot to carry.
But it's the foundation we're all building from piece by piece.
Thanks for hanging out with us as we unpack the good, the wild, and the stuff we're still figuring out.
This is Team A Unfiltered. No filters, no pretending, just truth.
Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Team A Unfiltered.
And leave a review if you loved us. And if you don't, keep it shit to yourself.
Bye.
Bye.